Checking in with Mark Nelson.
Can you hear everything? Yeah. Oh! Test. 1, 2, check.
Checking in with Mark Nelson.
Hello, good people of San Francisco. I have survived. I am back. I am in one piece. At least I think I am. I went it alone, and here I am, back home from my solo tour of the Northwest, the Homeward EP tour. I've been back home for a little over a week now. Tour was great. A lot of fun, good times, lots of fucking driving on my own, I'll tell you that. Tell you that much. The most I've ever done by myself. I hope you enjoyed these last few episodes that featured two of Seattle's finest. I wanted to get some Portlandians on the show, but the dates suddenly did not sync up with them while I was up there, so another time. Still had a grand old time in PDX, as they like to say. Shows were very good. Now, these last two episodes you heard were part of the tour edition of Checking In Podcast, called Checking Out, and we'll hopefully have more for you later this year of that style. I want to thank everyone who hosted me and helped book me shows all throughout the Northwest, specifically Michael Wool, Guy Keltner, and my old friend Colin Vranazan, who's actually playing in the Portland-based metal band Spellcaster. Shout out to them. Colin is a badass drummer. You should check them out. They destroy. I also want to take this time to say my latest EP, Homeward, produced by Greg Ashley, is still available to stream and purchase digitally and on cassette. Still got cassettes left. They're running out. You can find that and more of my music on iTunes, Spotify, and Bandcamp.com, not to mention on my website, mark-nelsen.com. Nelson spelled N-E-L-S-E-N. Fuck you, autocorrect. Yeah, there you can find all my solo and band music and music news. Okay, today I have an exciting guest on the show who I will be checking in momentarily, but the talk will be held in the band's tour van. I'll be talking to Kirpatrick Thomas, leader and founder of the band Spindrift. Yes, the Spindrift. Call them psychedelic, acid western, rompin' stompin' cowboy rock and roll, I don't know, whatever you want. This band is the goods, and definitely one of California's finest live acts around. I've seen Spindrift several times, the first time being in 2009. I believe I was 19 years old. It blew my mind. These guys have moved all over, but from what I know, have mainly been based out of Los Angeles for most of their career. The musicianship is stellar and always inspiring to see reworked and refurbished every year. I want to say they are California's premier spaghetti western rock and roll band. Filmmakers, composers, rock and rollers, they are all in one. So as I'm recording this tonight, Spindrift are preparing to close out Down Dirty Shake's second annual Milk Bar residency that I've been talking about all summer on the show. This is a special performance for two reasons. One, the residency has been a killer time. Tremendous success for my good friends, The Shake. And their new record should be out, or close to being out, so look that shit up, buy it immediately. Yeah, kudos and sincere congratulations to the Down Dirty Shake for continuing to make it happen. So tonight, they're going out with a bang, and we'll see you guys next year. But number 2, tonight, Spindrift are hosting their newest film's San Francisco premiere right at the Milk Bar. The movie is called Ghost of the West, and it'll be screened right before the music starts. So you get a film and some live music, all for the price of one. I'm getting there early. I'm going to watch the movie. I'm pretty excited. Then I'm going to talk to the creator himself all about it. So coming straight from inside Spindrift's tour van, or should I say stagecoach, let's talk to Kirpatrick Thomas.
When he rides into a town, everybody holds their breath, 'cause hanging on his hip is the angel of death. And when his hand goes to the leather, then somebody dies. And when he walks away, then somebody cries. But who's gonna cry for him? Who's gonna cry for him? He's a gunfighter with a big reputation. But who's gonna cry for him? Who's gonna cry for him? Gunfighter, gunfighter. When he rides into a town, there's a smile upon his face. And the stallion.
Welcome back, everybody. I am in Spindrift's tour van at the moment, and this is we're back here with Checking In with Mark Nelsen. I'm Mark Nelsen, and it's good to hear you again, good to see you again, and good to perceive you again. All right, so I'm pleased to talk with the founder and leader of Spindrift, Kirpatrick Thomas. How are you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing, Mark? It's great to be here. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Thanks for letting me in your van. All right, so I first saw your band at Great American Music Hall in 2009 with the Gree and Ty Segall. Ty was still an opening act at that point. Then I saw you guys a few more times over the years, notably at both San Frandelic Fests at the Parkside here in San Francisco, where I first met you. I had the privilege of playing with you guys at one of those two shows. And then I most recently saw you at Brick and Mortar earlier this year, and it was a killer show.
Yeah, I love the Brick and Mortar.
Yeah.
Really fun place to play. And it seems like all the events and all the lineups there always seem to exceed my expectations.
Great, yeah. They got it going on. All exquisite shows. So now I finally get to learn some history. So
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. So, okay, you guys formed in Delaware in, what, 92?
92. You could probably even say birthplace is around 91.
Okay.
But we really didn't come up with a name, Spindrift, until 93.
Oh, okay.
And we kind of floated around, just kind of formulating, throwing names around, and just jamming and doing this and that. And we finally came up with a name like later on.
It's a great name. One of my favorite names.
Thanks. Sometimes I don't know. I don't even know what to think about it myself because I'm so involved in it.
Yeah.
Every day is my Spindrift life, so it's kind of like strange to me to always deal with that every day, and kind of at least I know that it's a name that sort of can, allow yourself to go this way or that way through life, and that's kind of what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
It kind of leaves a lot of freedom to your artistic expression.
Absolutely.
But it also kind of has like a drifting and wandering kind of sound vibe to it.
Yeah, man. I didn't know you guys were around that long.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, and it's sort of like a well-kept secret that we've been around a long time. There's a lot of earlier music we have that's in our catalog. That's from 92 until probably the more popular stuff started up around 2003. So I'd say from 92 to 2003, we have a lot of other, unreleased or sort of released music that was from the East Coast, Newark, Delaware, college scene. We toured a lot. We played a lot of shows as well. The band was very active even back in those days. It hasn't changed. We've been just as busy. It's just that now that we have everything together, we kind of know where we're going, what we can do. We can take it on the road. We have all these connections. We're able to do all this stuff. We've built it up to now. So
Okay.
it's never changed. It's just been constantly a slow moving flux of just connecting one person to the next, to the next, to the next. But the music's always kind of had this vibe. But I could probably say that it hasn't had this Western-y kind of vibe until the whole moving from the East to the West Coast thing happened.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so you guys moved. Are you're based out of Los Angeles officially?
Yeah, based out of Los Angeles.
Okay. Did you? So okay, that kind of answered my question, but I wanted to dive a little bit more into this. So you never envisioned Spindrift to be this kind of like cowboy spaghetti western performance art piece from the very beginning?
Not
Just
at
kinda
all.
jamming out, making.
I think about it all the time, but when I was growing up on the East Coast and I was, learning guitar and writing a lot of stuff, when I was in my younger years, the thing I really hated the most was country western music.
Yeah.
I was like, if I'm ever caught dead playing that stuff, I should shoot myself.
Yeah.
I remember thinking this like way back when, and it's just kind of weird to know that, well, I definitely fulfilled the wrong prophecy there. But
I mean, country western, that's like a specific.
I just didn't want. I didn't want that
pop,
sound that was like, there was that certain sound that was on the radio in the '90s that was like, yeah,
exactly, yeah.
And
I would never even.
And like I was like,
for a second
I
with you
never want to
guys.
sound like. Maybe it's because we sound totally like the undergroundy kind of stuff, but
Well, the musicianship is stellar. I mean, it's.
Yeah, maybe it's just because we went a different way with it, but we are doing Western music. We just I never ever saw us doing this ever.
Mm-hmm.
I knew we were getting involved with sort of cinematically kind of oriented music, because we've always kind of had that sound, and we wanted to pursue it more.
Yeah.
But the spaghetti Western thing, that was just all of a sudden hit me like off to the side, But
So when did that start really speaking to you? I mean, when did you?
that was 2001, as I drove across the country. Right before I left, I was renting some videos, and I rented Once Upon a Time in the West
Oh yeah.
by Sergio Leone, and I ended up falling in love with that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I just bought all of Morricone's soundtracks, and I made a cassette. Drove across the country. We moved to Los Angeles from there, and I played the cassette all the way across, and we visited all these Western places.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and we started writing, like a fictitious score for a Western, and that turned into The Legend of God's Gun.
Oh, okay.
And from there, things just kind of blossomed from there. I did some touring with the Brian Jonestown Massacre, and we gained some members from that band.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and also from the Warlocks.
Yes.
We have a guitar player who played in Psychic TV for a little while. And then The Legend of God's Gun was born. Right before that, what's interesting is the album Songs from the Ancient Age, and that's basically the crossover album that goes like, okay, this is what the East Coast Spindrift sounded like, which was more like psychedelic pop, experimental, 60s kind of, rock.
Yeah.
And then you mix that in a little bit with the spaghetti Western sound. And so like that was like the crossover album is Songs from the Ancient Age. Because before Songs from the Ancient Age, we had like a punk album, like a space punk album or something. Like
Hawkwind?
Yeah, we had like some Hawkwindy sounding stuff. And we're just still trying to find our like niche, I think if I had never moved out west, we would probably be doing this like Hawkwind kind of sound.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
I'm
I'd love
glad
to
we
hear
did.
some of that. So, I mean, are there any releases whatsoever?
Yeah, they're out there, but they're really rare and hard to find.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone's able to find them.
What were some of your favorite tours? Or what are some of your favorite tours, memorable tours?
One of our most favorite tours was the Ghost Town tour of 2012. Because that was very unique because we basically toured and in and around ghost towns of the western United States for about 5 weeks. We played in 21 different ghost towns and lots of other little strange like places. I mean, camping out in like the Sonoran Desert and all kinds of things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it was a very unique experience. That was one of the coolest tours. One of the other best ones I've done was with Dead Meadow and the Black Angels.
Oh, yeah.
With Spindrift. And that was really great because, you know, we got to, all three bands just every night got to go out there and give it our all.
Yeah.
You know, and like that was, we're really great friends with Dead Meadow and really great friends with the Black Angels. So like it was really like quite a brotherly kind of tour. It was pretty great.
Yeah. Dead Meadow's one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, and then I got to say like the Dandy Warhols. That's a great band to tour with. They're a lot of fun. A lot of fun, man. Really great people.
And you toured with Black Rebel Motorcycle Club too?
Yeah,
Wow.
totally. That's
one of my favorites.
Yeah, totally. Those guys are really great, really great.
When was that? What year
that
was that?
That was 2010.
Oh, okay.
And that was our first European tour.
Oh.
And they invited us over to Europe. They said, "You guys have been around forever. You guys are awesome. We got to take you to Europe." You know, we're like, "Really? Okay, let's go. We're leaving in a month.
Wow. Beautiful.
Going to Europe. All right, shit's opening up." You know,
Divine.
yeah. They're an amazing band. In Europe, they do really well.
Yeah, no, they seem more prestigious over there. Like they draw.
Yeah.
Like
What a
theater
great
and
band,
arena
though.
Cards. Or
Yeah, what a
crowds,
great band.
not
What
cards.
great songs they have. You know?
Oh man, yeah.
They're always kind of. I mean, it really is good stuff.
Yeah, man. So the 2012 Ghost Town tour you're talking about of Western ghost towns out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Is this the tour that culminates into the movie that you're releasing now, that you're premiering now?
Yes, it is.
Ghost of the West?
Yeah, Spindrift, Ghost of the West. We kind of have the Spindrift title right before the rest of the title, just to, I don't know, I guess it kind of says it's the band, and then this was the tour we were on. And so, and it's the story about the tour we were on.
Yeah.
And interesting things happened during that tour that were unrelated, you know, politically, that were going on politically within the band too.
Okay.
That kind of define what that film's about as well. There's all kinds of like little like unseen kind of things that you'll kind of see sort of like happen as time goes on.
I see. It's a beautiful movie. We just watched it. We had the San Francisco premiere of it right here at the Milk Bar, which
that was the
out in front of it.
second screening of it.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful movie, man.
Thank you so much.
Remarkable film.
Thank you.
Stunning visuals.
It was directed by Burke Roberts. He's the guy responsible for doing it, for getting the film part of it done. I mean, him and his cinematographers, Rich Ragsdale, J.T. Guernsey, and then he hired some different editors. Noel Lawrence is one of the editors. He's a really talented guy that we've done all kinds of other film stuff with, and we're currently doing a film score with Noel Lawrence on his Sammy Davis Jr. movie, which is basically Sammy Gate. It's called.
Okay.
It's kind of like how Sammy Davis Jr. Caused Watergate.
Huh.
And so it's a really interesting film.
Excellent.
You know, and then, Burke's a really great director, and we knew we should hire him to do this sort of journey, this tour. I know he's a challenging guy. He's very challenging, and he kind of has a work ethic that's way up there. Like he won't expect anything less from anybody.
Yeah.
He's very, very, very. He always push you to do your best, and he doesn't settle for like just, oh, well, this is the way it kind of happens, and you just kind of do it, artistically, it'll just pop out. No, he's really like, no, is this really your best? Like, come on, do your best.
Yeah.
You know? So he's really good at that.
Were some of those recordings live?
Yeah.
That you weaved into the
Yeah, a lot
soundtrack
of
and
them
everything?
were live, and we like kind of put them together and made out the soundtrack out of
Cool.
that. Yeah.
Were a lot of generators involved, or did you find
Yeah.
power anywhere at any of these?
No power anywhere. Some of the venues that were
yeah.
like
Yeah.
more like touristy type places, sure. But
did anybody know you at any of those middle of nowhere bars?
No one knew us.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We just had onlookers, just
Cool.
people kind of watching. Oh, are you guys filming something? What's going on? And you go into like touristy towns where they'd be having like the Western reenactments going on,
Yeah.
like Virginia City.
Sure.
That's pretty alive and well up there in like Lake Tahoe, like Reno. Well, it's like above Reno and all that. And yeah, they were full on going for it, like so hanging out with those people was pretty interesting, doing
Yeah.
a tour like this.
I love the shots from like the third story building, or like like from some of those
Like,
some of those buildings overlooking the desert
Yeah.
and everything. Beautiful.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
shot that was in that specific one I think you're talking about was in Bodie, Ghost Town, California, and that was basically the mining facility where we, because we had, permits to basically get in.
Oh yeah.
We had an escort that was able to get us into the mining facility.
I see.
That's where we got to see all those extra things.
Remarkable. Yeah. How long again? Or I don't know if you said this, but how long did the whole journey take you?
It's
Like
about
the actual tour?
4.5 to 5 weeks.
Okay.
I believe it was. Yeah.
Was any of the B footage or like incidental footage later on? I mean, did the filmmakers go out by themselves to do?
There
it?
was
it all
there
on the
is
tour?
some extra that was shot in or brought in. Some different directors, obviously added a little bit of their own flavor. Some other stuff they had shot and added in. There was a little bit, not much. It just to round out some scenes they added
Okay.
this stuff in.
Cool. man.
Yeah, so it's mostly everything we shot on the tour. When I watch it, I'm like, yeah, that's a lot. That's pretty much everything we did that I can remember.
Yeah.
Besides going to sleep and waking up.
Yeah. All right, so I wanted to ask you, how does psychedelia play a role in your music? I mean, is it just because you're based in California? I mean, you were talking about coming out to the West earlier, and I know you were talking about like this disdain for country Western as a kid. But what separates your sound from most other cowboy rock and roll or even Western surf music and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, I think it's because of our pretty wide array of influences. I mean, and their search for new music.
Yeah.
You're always searching for something new and inspirational. So when you really kind of reach that style that you kind of want to emulate, then you can actually like, really get inspired by it and like write something that's like that. And to me, that's always been kind of like a poignant place to be at. Like when you're like, oh, I found out this new kind of like Bollywood kind of style that's going on, and it's really wild. And let's just do a song like that and crossbreed it with a song like this.
Okay.
And so you're just like, you come up with like something really far out. Or let's just straight up do a song that sounds like that style or something like that. And just by having your own band do it, you kind of change it into what it's going to be. Just like that, just out of necessity. So, you just end up with like all kinds of scenarios and things that pop out, like just by, getting into something else.
you write most of the music?
Yeah, I'm a prime songwriter that, being a lyricist as well, write a lot of lyrics. Being a songwriter, I would say I'm the prime one because I'll come up with these melodies in my head and, put them all down, and they often turn into, full-on songs.
Okay.
So.
I mean, so the process behind the albums, do you have a concept for each record? Because I know you guys are such a conceptual band.
Yeah, sometimes, obviously an album like The West was a concept record that revolved around the Victorian age. And
Okay.
The Legend of God's Gun was a spaghetti western that was a western version of Dante's Inferno.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ghost of the West.
Never realized that.
Yeah, Ghost of the West is, obviously are influenced by the western ghost towns of the United States and the music that popped out of those. And, but, otherwise, when we're not doing, like, concept records, we'll just be doing straight up, like, soundtrack albums, which are things like other independent films that our people approach us with.
Okay. I love Legend of God's Gun. I've had that record for a long time.
Yeah, since 2008, that's been going around.
Great. So how's the response been for this conceptual rockumentary, if you will, since you first screened it, which was
so far,
the other day in LA?
Yeah, and last Thursday in Los Angeles we screened it, and so this is the second one tonight. The response has been really, really awesome.
Is it just going to be distributed around via touring with with the band?
I think it's going to catch on to something pretty big.
Great.
I think the cool thing about releasing a film is that we're a band, and bands don't normally release films of this caliber. And, you'll see them like Pink Floyd, like live in Pompeii.
Yeah.
Or X, they have a pretty good documentary.
Yeah.
But this is Spindrift Goes to the West. It's not like any of those. It's totally different. And it has historical aspects.
Yeah, it's completely unique and beautiful.
Yeah, it has historical aspects. It kind of takes you to those places. It's like a escapism kind of thing. It's very surreal. It's experimental filmmaking. It has elements of punk and country western, folk music, and then it kind of shows behind the scenes, of everything that kind of little things that happen between everything else, and so I think it's like interesting what you get like out of the whole like shebang with Spindrift Goes to the West.
Did anyone teach you how to gunsling? Is that something you learned on your own?
The spinning around and all that. That was kind of like something that I learned during the Legend of God's Gun. I guess I just kind of wanted to at least do a few flips into the holster kind of thing. That's all I can do. It took a little while to get it down, but I got it down. It's something I had to do for my certain character in the Legend of God's Gun. Shows a little bit of prowess there.
Yeah. Did you ever listen to or you become a fan of that album that came out a few years ago, Rome by Danger Mouse and Daniela Lupi?
Yeah, I have that album.
Think of that?
I thought it was great.
Yeah,
I really like it. And I think it's really cool. Danger Mouse, being involved, and Daniel Lupi. As far as I hear, he's going to be scoring the next Django movie.
Oh, okay, that makes
which
sense.
is Django Lives.
Okay,
which is not Tarantino did Django Unchained, but this is Django Lives, which is going to actually be Django, Franco Nero his comeback movie.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, apparently what I'm hearing is that Daniel Lupi is getting a lot of the original, cast that scored, a lot of the spaghetti westerns back together to recut like some kind of new soundtrack. Which is great, and I'm like, come on, let's put some Spindrift in there. We want to work with Daniel Lupi or Danger Mouse. Let's do it. Come on. I'm checking on it. I'm trying to see what could happen, but we'll see. We'll see what people do.
Has Danger Mouse heard you guys or anything like that?
I think he has, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I think I
Rad.
had a couple plans. I had a couple plans to try to meet up with him in L.A., but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, they used the Cantori Moderni
Yeah,
in Italy, like they recorded
Exactly.
with them. Yeah, that's amazing.
yeah.
Any plans to record with them?
Oh my gosh, are they for hire? Can I reach them to do it?
I hope so, man.
Is that
I'm
how
Italian. I'll
is-
get you in touch.
Is that how I get into the club?
Oh yeah, by the way, are you Italian at all?
No, actually, I'm not. I'm part Irish and part Czechoslovakian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Kirpatrick your real first name?
No. But I won't tell you my real name
Okay, fair enough.
because it's cool when it's left
Did
as
you
a
create
secret.
the name Kirpatrick for the band?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
a pen name. It's like my Mark Twain.
For sure, dude.
It just kind of has a nice ring to it, but it's also pretty close to my real name.
Great.
It's just a hyphenated kind of name.
Well,
That's all it really
doesn't
is.
get more Western and outlaw and gunslinger.
Which,
than
hey,
that,
what-
I gotta say, man.
I might as well just say it. My real name's Kevin Patrick Thomas.
Oh, okay.
I've never said that before in any interview or anything.
Well.
But I shortened it to Kirpatrick Thomas, which means I don't have a middle name on that name. Just it's Kirpatrick Thomas. K-I-R Patrick Thomas. Kirpatrick, all one name. Yeah, Kirpatrick Thomas. I thought it was just like pretty regal kind of,
Yeah.
poetic.
Oh, it fits. Yeah.
Has a nice ring to it, Kevin Patrick Thomas or Kevin Thomas to me. I mean, it's totally great, but I don't know. Somewhere I was doing a lot of poetry at one point, and that name just kind of started speaking to me more than my real name.
Okay.
So I just kind of went with it.
I
felt like moving along with that. I sort of, just kind of went there. I changed my name when I moved out west, and
Okay.
a lot of people do that. I guess a lot of people change their lives
Yeah.
altogether. So that's when I did it.
All right, Kirkpatrick.
Mhm.
Well, I approve of the name wholeheartedly. All right, so just to wrap up, this is kind of the theme of the show here, as I was mentioning to you earlier. How well do you like playing in San Francisco? Do you enjoy playing here more than L.A.? I'm sure you've played here 100 times by now. And how does Spindrift continue the SF psychedelic tradition, and what are your thoughts on the Wild West of techie lust?
Oh, the Wild West of techie lust? What is that?
The Wild West, like the tech boom and everything. It's kind of like a Wild West in of itself.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a huge conversation here. And
Yes,
where do you stand with all this?
wow,
in
I'm
San Francisco, especially.
I'm still like a newbie out here,
Are you really?
Yeah, I've been to San Francisco several dozen times and spent a good amount of time here, but I've never lived here, and I really don't know the lifestyle completely. I don't kind of.
Would you ever want to live here?
Yeah.
Do you think Spindrift could exist here?
Yeah, I think we could. It's got
think
that
so.
cool, Victorian, Western, diverse kind of thing, and you're right at the pinnacle of where the West kind of, really kicked off. Closer to Sacramento and all that as well. I mean, being what I'm saying about Sacramento is, where the gold strike was and everything, but you kind of have a big culmination of everything that happened here. When I think of LA, as opposed to, I think of LA as the dirtier side of San Francisco, of California, really.
Okay.
The stranger, the sketchier kind of, I don't know. There's something about the people in LA that, wow, they're really whacked and crazy.
The blossoming beast of.
But San Fran is a whole nother element too. They're all the same. I mean, there's Californians as well.
Yeah.
So we're all bound together,
Definitely.
I don't know. There's, and then you go out to Grass Valley. You go up to Chico, up to Mount Shasta, down to San Diego. I mean, it's funny. Or you go out to Joshua Tree, or I don't know, Death Valley, and just the amount of land that's in California, and you think, well, how do all these people relate together? And you kind of think, oh, do they really relate? And I guess they kind of do, because just everyone's kind of adventurous, really.
Sure.
I guess that's kind of how I describe Californians.
But do you
is
think that the
adventurous.
tech boom or any of this gets in the way of a so-called once existing purity? Or
It's interesting, yeah, because that was not here, and now it is here. Yeah, wow, that's a good question. I really just think that it's, the tech boom. You got me, man. You really
I
got
don't know.
me.
You don't have to answer it if you don't
I'm
want
a
to, but-
cowboy.
Yeah,
like
dude.
I don't really know much about any of that. I kind of a cowboy at heart. Like
Well,
I really
guess not the tech boom necessarily. I mean, you don't have to talk about that, but I mean, like the current state of indie music, so to speak, or just musicians and how we kind of survive as Californian musicians in this modern era.
Well, the truth is, San Francisco's it's quite the city. It has a lot of different influences everywhere that you can pull from.
Yeah.
And you're exposed to that every day. And so and it's also quite populated, so you're always exposed to different people of all different walks of life. So when those people all meet together in this environment, they're always going to create something quite unique and awesome and different. And there's enough people that live here to cultivate that, I think, pretty constantly. However, obviously, when most people think of San Francisco, they think of the 60s as being, okay, that was when that whole city was going off the hook.
And here we are on Haight-Ashbury right now.
Here we are in Haight-Ashbury, and it's 2014. And I'm looking around, and it's like the place where it never died, kind of, in some ways.
Yeah. Long live gutter punks.
Yeah. Where that never died, at least. Where gutter punks never died. But, I did just see some older kind of yuppie hippies.
For sure.
Walking around. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a weird place here.
But do you like playing?
We're in a weird vortex right here on the Haight. Kind of.
Do you like playing San Francisco, though?
Yes, I love it. The people are great. I love it.
Yeah, I've seen some amazing response from your shows here.
Yeah, I can't get enough. The people are really awesome here. I'll come back anytime. I think about moving here, partly because of the weather. It stays cool. The heat in LA is just woo.
Yeah, I'm spoiled on the weather for sure.
This time of year is pretty rough. But like the rest of the year is pretty nice in Los Angeles.
I just wanted to say, you guys should, if you haven't thought of this already, you should think about performing at one of those abandoned spaghetti western movie sets in Spain and Italy.
Oh my gosh, there's potential that we might screen the film at the Almerian Film Festival.
Okay.
Almeria being southern Spain, where they shot all those spaghetti westerns.
Oh my God, that would be
incredible.
incredible.
The Almerian Western Film Festival, and I think they're going to present Spindrift Goes to the West this year.
Man.
So there's a chance I might be able to go down there to, help to present it. And I'm working on the details. It's a lot of crazy stuff I got to work out to make it happen. I don't know. Fingers crossed. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, best of luck to you with that, man.
Yeah.
Movie set ghost towns, if you will.
Oh yeah.
Because they're just like standing there, right? They're just still remain. I've heard that. Like,
well,
some
Pappy
of them are
and
still
Harriet's
remaining there.
Pioneer Town in Joshua Tree. That's a standing ghost movie town.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was built by Roy Rogers.
Huh.
And mainly for his sets.
Okay.
And he even had a motel that he was built to house his, all of his camera and crew and everything.
Cool.
So they'd have a place. I mean,
wow.
The guy must have been. That guy was, the one of the biggest actor of his time.
Yeah, man.
So if you're the biggest actor of your time, I think you could build like a whole Western movie set anywhere you wanted, somewhere awesome like what he did. And now it's still there, and this so many years later. So pretty great.
Well, where are you going to next on your tour?
Tomorrow we have
And
Nevada
what are the
City.
dates? So everybody.
Yeah, Nevada City tomorrow at the National Hotel, which is a historical hotel. That'll be a great show.
And that's August 1st?
That'll be the first. Then we're back home around mid-August. And then it's just to pick up another weekend after that on August 22nd. We're at Pappy and Harriet's. And then August 23rd, we're at the Rock Formations Festival Part 2, which is a festival the Spindrifts curated. That's out in Wonder Valley. And, we're doing Pappy and Harriet's out in Pioneer Town on the Friday before that.
Is it an all-day thing?
Yes. Interesting is that Jello Biafra will be joining us at both of those shows. So,
all right. With his band and everything?
No.
Oh, just playing with you guys.
He's going to DJ. He's going to do some spoken word. And then we're going to do some songs together. And we've been talking about which songs we're going to do together.
Oh, great.
So it's pretty cool.
I saw you had a credit on your film. I was going to ask
Yep.
you about that.
Yeah, he's in there, yeah.
Cool,
Yeah,
man.
It's pretty cool.
Well, great.
Great.
Thank you, Kirpatrick.
All
That was
right.
Kirpatrick Thomas of Spindrift, and
Thanks for listening.
catch them on tour screening their new film, Ghost of the West. It's a very unique experience, multimedia experience. You get the live music, live soundtrack, and the movie playing.
It's cool to be doing this.
Yeah, thanks, Reemit.
Thanks so much.
Awesome. Well, that was Checking In with Mark Nelson. We hope you enjoyed your stay. See you next time.
Checking in with Mark Nelson.